Hey guys, what's going on? This is Campo and welcome back to my channel. And on today's video, we have the 11th war of the Alliance War season coming to a close here. And this war definitely looked a little different. I faced a few defenders that I had not seen before in the season. And also of note is that I had just completed a pretty difficult trail race. I was out in the hills for about 7.5 hours through the afternoon and early evening, so I was pretty wiped out before this one even started. I do start off on path 4A, as I very often do, since Elsa is such a hard counter for almost any fight there. However, in section 2, we're going to see some slightly different matchups, including, slight spoiler alert, it is going to be my second death of the season today. Just sort of a combination of factors that caused that. I was able to take all of my fights in one big boost. Partially that was thanks to my buddy Caesar. He and I have been officers in the same battle group for at least a year now, and he was able to join me in SSx as well. He's a great guy. We love talking baseball and Marvel Comics, and he texted me when I got home from the race and was like, yeah, man, if I move one step, I think I can get you in all these fights with one boost. And I did have a couple difficult ones potentially, so that was very, very much appreciated. But anyway, I'm going to start this clip right about now. And sort of the theme of this war, since I wasn't like 100% physically and mentally at this point, is just the AI was just a little weird today, and just some unexpected things happened to me that I was not prepared for. And in this first fight with Mr. Negative, I mean, Elsa hard counters the node. We've already talked about that. When she shrugs these non-damaging debuffs that come from the node, she gets a damage bonus. I dueled Mr. Negative a couple times and realized that her well-timed block does not give him light energy like it would when you parry. However, what you saw him do there was dash back with one of these furies that comes from the node. And when he cancels out a buff that way, it does give him light energy. And then if I knock him down, it gives him dark energy. And then, you know, we have to deal with stuff like the inverted controls on the specials and stuff. But fortunately, Elsa is so OP for path 4A that I only had to bait one special one, and I was ready for it to be inverted controls and was able to just kind of block it to be safe, and he went down fairly quickly. So interesting placement for sure. First time I've seen him there. And then here, they put Spider Gwen, which I haven't seen her here all season. So, you know, I'm doing slow combos to start the fight. I want to get her to evade. One time she does right there. So I figure I'll go in. She parries me. But then Elsa's ability to shrug debuffs comes in the clutch. And that stun lasted for like half a second. Recovered, finally was able to parry and get the cold snap on her with my mediums, and now the fight's over. But one thing that you may not know, I guess a lot of my Alliance members did know this, so I kind of looked like an idiot when I told them, but if you don't know, her debuff shrugging kind of works on like a rolling timer that's always going on in the background. So that's why sometimes when you fight her, her stuns can... when you stun her, they can kind of disappear a little bit quicker than you would think, like she has limber. That's what happened there, and it totally saved my butt. I don't even know how I got parried there. I feel like I got in with a recovery timer in time, but she did parry me, and fortunately I was able to shrug it. So next up, this is my first time all season taking node 25, and you know, the rule here is basically if you can use Doom, he's probably the best. So I threw on the House of X pre-fight because he is shock immune, which means I won't be able to do like the shock into a passive stun thing and get the staggers that way. But because of like the long passive stun duration, you know, I'm able to do that with the House of X. So right off the bat, this isn't going well. My dex isn't feeling right, my parry isn't feeling right, which has been a theme of the season. But fortunately, I did save it there for a second by throwing my special one and canceling out his 3 bars of power. But then I hit into his block. He was unstoppable. I didn't have staggers up at that time. I panicked a little bit and threw this special 3. If I just waited another second or so, then his unstoppable would have been gone. But from footloose, he still had the unstoppable. And so I charge in here. He's unstoppable. I can't perform my doom cycle. I get a little lucky there. He throws that special 2, but I'm just trying to salvage this fight. I'm winning the HP battle. I throw a special 1 there. That was the wrong call because look at my aura. It had not expired. I was hoping that I could get a new aura on. So that's the first time something went well, where I staggered the footloose. Everything went well. I should have thrown a special 1 there to kind of control the fight, but instead I'm only thinking about my staggers. Again, should have thrown that special 1 because lo and behold, here he comes, unblockable in the corner, and oh no, I throw the special 2. Maybe adrenaline's gonna save me. If he runs at me, I can win this with adrenaline, but he turtles up, and that's the end of that. So that was my second death of the season, and it felt really bad. First of all, I almost got him. So, you know, I don't think it was a question of like boosting up enough or not. It was more, I made some very poor decisions. Toward the beginning of the fight, my dashbacks were turning into blocks. One of my dexes completely failed. So, you know, I think the combination of me not playing at my best and reacting in time with some input issues, which I can almost guarantee were there, followed by, you know, his AI a little bit. He kind of turtled up and didn't throw specials when I wanted him to. It was just a bad combination. And, you know, we talked about this after in season 27 with my previous alliance. I had taken this fight a few times with Apocalypse. And the strategy there is that you counter Moleman better in general, and that you basically can get the fight over faster, but you do have the ability to get cornered, which is a little scary. So it's kind of a toss-up. You know, in this war, it made sense to send Doom. If I had played better, it would have been over. And yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles. Fortunately, that did not cost us a win. But it still feels bad every time you die, especially when you know you could have done better. So anyway, that one is over. We're moving on. And this is probably the weirdest fight. It's Kingpin, who shrugs debuffs like crazy. And we're using Elsa, who puts a bunch of debuffs on Kingpin. Now, why would we do that? And that's because she has the built-in intercepts in her kit, and I already had her on my team. So like I do when I fight Void on 39, I backed up first so that his medium would fall right into my well-timed block. And because he's an extra large champion, my rounds on my medium ender, or excuse me, on my light ender, the busted debuffs are going to be giving a little bit of a bonus on the crits. So he's purifying all my debuffs, but at this point, we're just going to play him kind of like you would play the old Kingpin boss in AQ, where, you know, we just bait his special 1s and we get in after. And we know that with Elsa, we are going to occasionally get the free intercept like we did right there. So the reason I'm using her for this fight is if you watched my guide on Elsa Bloodstone, you know, I talked about the 2 most important factors with her is that she has higher than average damage, mostly because of her ability to get these passive crit buffs. As you can see, she has the precision buffs on her now. That really helps her damage. And then the ability to get free intercepts and get openings like that is just really, really underrated. And those are the only 2 abilities of hers that I had to use in that fight. I didn't have to worry about evasion. I didn't have to worry about debuff shrugging. And she completely controlled the fight and probably got it down faster than if I had even brought Apocalypse there. Because with Apocalypse, I would have had to do some more traditional intercepting, which, you know, who knows? That could be a little risky. Even with light intercepts, they're not always safe. And, you know, I would have definitely had a longer fight and something could have happened. So I feel really good about that decision to use Elsa there. And this is a fight that I've taken earlier in the season as well. The one today is not going to go quite as smoothly. I wasn't able to land an intercept early, which usually I try to, because when he doesn't have any Nova charges, usually I'm able to land one just to get a little bit of damage off at the beginning of the fight. But unfortunately, we didn't get it. And at this point, I'm just going to slow play it and use the 5 minutes. It would be really nice, Nova, if you would throw that special 1. Thanks, bro. So yeah, he finally threw it. Not doing too much damage. So in the back of my head, I'm like mildly worried about the timer because we haven't crossed 90% yet, and he's being a little stingy with the specials. I'm not really building power. So he keeps dashing in, and he ends up getting a special 2 and throws it into my block. But I can certainly block a few of those and be completely fine in this fight as long as they're not unblockable if I'm keeping track of my staggers. So at this point, I'm just trying to build up to a special 3. I think that's my best bet. Finally, I can get off an intercept. So that one really helped me out. That was just sort of a traditional sort of dash back light intercept, and he didn't have enough Nova charges to get the auto block. So at this point, I figured the fight is won. I just needed like a chunk of damage from somewhere. And I do sort of a modified Doom cycle. He didn't have full power. So I couldn't quite do like a real Doom cycle, but I'm just doing a lot of lights to try to control to control everything there. Now that special 2 did not do that much damage because I was unblockable. And when you throw an unblockable attack, special attack at him, it has a damage penalty. That's just one of his abilities. So that may have been the wrong move, but I stand by it because he's going to go down. As you can see there, I threw a traditional special 2 that was not unblockable, and that one does full damage. So even though I didn't have the aura up, that special 2 did plenty of damage to kill him, and it ended up being fine. I feel like against that Nova, if you can land 1 intercept sometime in the fight, then you don't really have to worry. And even if you don't, Doom is going to get him down. It just might be closer to like a 5-minute fight. So anyway, that went well. Just kind of kept my cool and got Nova down with Doom. And finally, we have found the Void on the map. He's once again at node 39. And it's just like a breath of fresh air to have this fight after the war that I've had, because I've taken this every war. But of course, because of the war that I'm having, it doesn't quite go the way I want, including there where the AI perfectly light intercepted me in a way that, like only MSD or Suida could do. So I took a little bit of damage there, and it kind of messed up my flow a little bit. But like I said earlier, in a different fight, I'm winning the HP battle. I have control over this fight. I have my Fury bonuses from the intercepting. And, at this point, I'm not too worried. But I do just need to be careful, because if I do make one more mistake, it could be the end of this fight. So I'm trying to get off an intercept. The game lagged there, which was super fun. I'm trying to get off one more intercept so I can land a big special 2. Hopefully that's enough to kill him, but not enough hits crit, even though I had all these crit buffs. It's just the way it is. One more combo and he goes down. So yeah, this war was an interesting one. We ended up winning. It ended up being probably our sloppiest war in a while, and you can see from my own performance that I contributed toward that. But we did get picked up by some other people in the BG. I want to give a big shout out to my friend Smio, who took a mini boss. It was Terrax on Aspect of Evolution, and he technically wasn't assigned to that, but one of our members had to step away from the game for a little bit. And he was able to bring his Claire to that node, which is not ideal. Like, we wanted to use magic, but, people have real lives, man. Like, it's part of the game. And he stepped up and got it down, which, that helps. Every little attack bonus helps. And some of the other BGs really sort of carried us. We definitely had some sloppy deaths all over the place, including mine against Moleman. But a win is a win, and we are on quite a streak right now. So just going into one more war in the season. Platinum 1 is pretty much locked. It would take a slight miracle to get to Masters, but, anything can happen. We'll see what happens in the next 24 hours. But yeah, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much. I have a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new watchers and commenters and all that. And I really, really appreciate that. I'm having a lot of fun with these war videos. It's sort of given a little bit more purpose to my channel to have these coming out regularly. And I can tell that the people that do follow me are enjoying them just based on the views. So I really do appreciate that. I promise you more will come out. And just a little teaser, when the season is over, I'm going to be doing a breakdown of the whole season, including like the most common defenders I fought, the most common attackers, like deaths and mini bosses taken and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that breakdown, stay tuned. And also in War 12, I've been trying to give little shout outs to people in my battle group because I've said multiple times how awesome they are, but I do want to just in War 12 before it starts, I'm going to really give a shout out to all 9 of the other members because everybody has contributed on a huge level, as well as our leader, Rob Hop, who he also has a YouTube channel that I'll link in the next one, as well as all the other YouTube channels of some of our other members. But anyway, I'm going a little long today. Just feeling good after the weekend and another war win. And that'll do it for today. So thanks for checking it out, guys. And I will catch you in the next one.